members of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, and their counterparts in the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU, to call off their strike. Outgoing Minister of State for Education, Yusuf Sununu, made the passionate plea on behalf of the new Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa. He stressed that efforts were underway to address the vexed issues that led to the industrial action in the first place. Recall that workers' unions in public universities across the country have protested government's failure to release 4 months of withheld salaries from 2022. Again, BKO, we talk about this all of the time, and we are not happy about the issues.
Oh, actually, there is development about the strike.
Okay, then.
Today, the SSANU and NASU members began to receive alerts for 1 month out of the 4 months that they were asking for. And they were told...
So we are getting someplace.
They were told, just be patient. By the end of the month, you will get another...
Outstanding.
Another 1 month.
Tranche. Okay.
Now, they are claiming, according to them, government officials are saying they only got approval to pay them 2 months. Whereas the waiver that the president gave was for 4 months. So they are wondering what is going on. Does the president give instruction? And some people will now say, no, Mr. President, we overrule you on this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have given waiver for 4 months. They are going to have a meeting, the Joint Action Committee for SSANU and NASU. They are going to have a meeting to take a decision as to whether these 2 months that government wants to pay in lieu of 4 is something that sits well with them, or is too little and may just lead to the strike being prolonged. So the branches have a role to play. It's very similar to ASU in terms of the way they are structured. The leaders can't decide. The leaders can only decide when they've had those town halls with the branches, and the branches say, okay, this is the piece of news that you brought to us. We think that the strike should continue. We think that you should accept it, as a measure of good, what is it called?
Goodwill.
Goodwill, from the president. So we do not know whether these 2 months that they've agreed to pay will be sufficient. They also believe that government should have simply even paid those 2 months at once.
That's it.
After all, they paid ASU 4 months at once. Out of the 7.5 months that ASU, during which ASU didn't work, and government instituted the no work, no pay. So this is where we are. But remember, they are also asking for improved remuneration and allowances. Implementation of the 2009 agreement. Implementation of the MOU signed with the federal government on the 20th of August 2022, which has expired by midnight on October 27, 2024. So if you signed an MOU and you didn't implement the MOU until it expired on the 27th of October, that was some days back, such behavior does not promote industrial harmony. We have said we don't want strikes on these university campuses, but
especially because they can be avoided.
We don't. There is no strike that cannot be avoided. It's about meeting you maybe in the middle or something. So there's no strike that cannot be avoided. You have to talk to workers and say, look, I mean well, let us bury the hatchet. So, but if you do not engage them, and you go into agreements years after you are not implementing those agreements, it's even provocative.
Yeah,
it's provocative.
It is. Okay, we'll take a breather and go for some commercial break. We are going for some commercials. We should be back shortly. Please stay with us. Thank you. All right, folks, welcome back. This is just before we leave NASU SSANU Wahala. One would have thought that the Aluta season was going to be allayed for a while.
Well, I think it's been allayed, and this particular one is, I would say, the government's fault. Because, like BKO said, if you knew you were going to pay for 2 months, you could have paid that money. And even interestingly, do you know that these NASU people didn't even go on strike when ASU was on strike? Yeah. Because at that time, when government said it wanted to invoke the no pay, no salary thing, the SSANU people called themselves together and went back to work. But ASU refused to go back to work. Now, ASU has been paid 4 months, and they are still struggling to collect 2 months allowance. So it just shows you that you don't align with your oppressor in any way.
And expect
to, yeah, so you can't. I also, but that is not to say
that reminds me of Konwa as well.
Konwa, yeah.
So, but that is not to say that what government is doing is right.
Yeah.
I think the federal government, since the president has given an instruction that 4 months' salaries should be paid to these unions, I think this should just be done so that we can have a lasting peace on our campuses.
And the harmony.
And even ASUP is warming up too.
Yeah.
That's the Polytechnic. They are warming up. So I just don't know. My prayer is that ASU does not eventually get pushed to go on another indefinite.
Wow. Because they are also
the outstanding issues have
they are pushing for strike too.
The outstanding issues, you still have time. The outstanding issues have not been addressed. Look at the issue of IPPIS. The matter went to court and they won. They won at the industrial court. The industrial court ordered government to disenroll ASU from IPPIS.
That's it.
And that decision, that judgment came on the 30th of May 2023.
Yeah. Remember last.
Is it 30 or June? I think June 1 or so. Around, I think either June 1. I think June 1. But I know that.
Like
that immediately the president came in. It was just like 48 hours or so after the president came into office. Within 48 hours, that judgment came. As we speak, look at how long they've been waiting to be disenrolled from IPPIS. So these are the things that push academic staff to think that, look, it's best that we go on an industrial action. So ASU's demands have to be met. I know that they met the minister and they said, okay, they're setting up another.
New minister.
They have set up a committee. Name bricks, the resolutions reached at the Name bricks panel have not been implemented. Now there's another, the resolutions reached by the Musalin Jibril panel have not been implemented. The 2009 agreement, which where it was decided that, okay, we will be renegotiating this agreement from time to time. That one has not been implemented. Now we are setting up another committee. This time, somebody outside of the academia, because you could say, okay, Musalin Jibril was a lecturer. He was executive secretary at NUC. You can say Neme Briggs was also a lecturer. But this time around, they brought someone who is not an academic. Now, it's a different committee again. How about the reports of previous committees that have not been
for me, basically, I know that 2009 to now is a period of 15 years. And so for an issue to have dragged on for that long means there's something we don't understand.
There is nothing we don't understand. It's just that, you know, those agreements have to do with salaries. They also have to do with infrastructure development in universities. And the idea
which is not asking for too much.
No, the idea then was that if government injects this money periodically, it will solve the problem over the years. Unfortunately, the problems have now compounded. You will be surprised that even the salaries of lecturers we talk about here, that these salaries have not been reviewed in the last 15 years or how many years. So, and you will be shocked to know that a PhD holder, and I'm telling you because I am one, and I have sought to work in universities and I've heard the amount of money they offer to pay. So I am saying it.
Less than 500,000.
Which one is less than 500,000? It's less than 200,000 naira.
You don't say.
No, a professor.
I am saying a PhD.
500,000.
Yes, a professor is on. In fact, a professor is about 380 something thousand naira. The ones that have been there for 25 years can earn like 490 something or 500,000 naira. So look at me. Somebody offering me 180,000 naira. This was a salary I didn't even earn 20-something years ago. I didn't even earn this 20 years ago. But now you are telling me that that is the offer. You can imagine how bad the situation is for these lecturers. And sometimes when we expect them to perform magic, if you don't enter into their situations, you don't know what they are going through. And you cannot
really... We say they are selling handouts
and all of that. I don't know how they can cope with that kind of pay. So,
but for me, joking or toying or trifling with the educational system in the country is dangerous.
It is, and that's why many people would rather send their children to private
universities or those who can afford.
And the public universities still have the best academics. They still have the best teachers.
Yes.
That is a fact.
Yes.
They still have the best
teachers. They even go to the private universities to work too. And that is even the reason why they have problem with this IPIS.
So when some people say it is crazy to have in a 21st century Nigeria counselors earning more than doctorate degree holder.
Because a typical counselor will earn like maybe 600, 700,000. Going by their mobilization, whatever salary structure.
Ours is just to mold opinion. So we